Hey. Good morning. Could you believe the traffic for our meeting? I mean, that was crazy. Couldn't even find parking. No, I'm going to just spend a few minutes talking about Business Data Cloud. Who actually attended the Unleashed event in February that talked about this? Not a lot of folks. The students didn't even show up. You guys slept in. Come on now. All right, now. BDC is a big deal. We are we have two sessions after this. Scott Sleeper is going to present in, I think it's track 4, right, Heather? Yeah, track 4. So we're going to have a deeper session on BDC with Scott Sleeper. There's Scott. Hi, Scott. And then after that, Doug Culpepper is going to have the next session after that, also in the same room, to talk about BW migration. So this is going to be fast, right? So really quick, take out your phones. Take a picture of this. If you have a question you want answered today, you can submit it on this page. It's kind of like a party line, so don't say anything, like bad. But we have no way of monitoring it. Or if you can go to sapbtp.com/question, we'll log your question. If you put in your email in the name field, we'll be able to email you an answer as well. So if there's any questions, we'll be able to handle it that way. As always, if we talk about the future, SAP reserves the right to change specifics about what we think the plan is going to be until it comes out and becomes generally available. So a really quick question for you. Is predicting the future easy or hard? What do you think? Hard. Hard? Everybody going with hard? Sleeper went with lucky, but I'm not sure. Yeah, predicting the future is hard. Steve Jobs was absolutely famous for predicting the future well, and as a result, Apple's got a market cap like no other. It's been an amazing run for Apple because he got it right. But if we ask the right question, I think all of us in the room can absolutely answer this question. What do we think enterprise systems are going to look like just 5-6 years from now? Do you guys want to play along? You want to predict the future with me? Where's the enthusiasm? We need more caffeine in the room. Woo! So Hasso Plattner was our chairman for a lot of years, and he actually predicted a lot of interesting things, and they're all coming true today. So is the world going to be moving faster in 2030 than it is now? What do you think? Yes, absolutely. What about the landscapes themselves? Are they going to be more diverse or less diverse 5 years from now? More. What about your company's customers? Are they going to expect everything in real time? Yeah, absolutely. What about your decision makers? Do they want their numbers in real time? Do they want it right now? Can we deliver them right now? Not exactly. All right. Are we going to be in multiple clouds or just one single cloud? What do you think? Multiple clouds. Is there still stuff on-premise? Yeah, absolutely. So it's a hybrid kind of world. Is AI going to fix it all? Is it going to integrate all these systems together and everything's going to just magically work? What do you think? No, not at all. But if I dumb that down a little bit to automation, are we going to be way more automated in a few years than we are today? Yeah, no doubt. Is operations and tech going to be completely inseparable? What do you think? Well, let me tell you a story. I was down in Houston. A whole bunch of people were waiting to get on the plane. We had a crew, we had an airliner, we had everything, but somebody in Dallas pressed delete on the flight by mistake. Guess what? Well, let me ask you, do you think we spent the night in Houston or do you think we got home that night? We spent the night. It just doesn't work anymore without the technology involved, right? So we have no doubt that there's going to be greater productivity, but the IT mission is going to be absolutely more complicated. There's no doubt because it's now part of the business in every single way. So I think we've predicted what the enterprise future is going to look like with about a 90% probability. Right? It's going to be a modular network of cloud applications, a fabric of data. Everything's going to be working in real time. It's going to be a very modular world where we kind of create this composable ERP. It's a really interesting moment in time, I think, because we're reaching a cold fusion moment that's blending what used to be stovepipe areas, like BI used to be its own stovepipe from the data guys, used to be its own stovepipe from process optimization people. And now everything has to work together. But the data continues to grow. People are talking about this year, the world's going to create 181 zettabytes. I had to go look up what a zettabyte is. Turns out it's billions of terabytes. Billions of terabytes. By the way, that's the Library of Congress, largest library in the world. We're going to create this year 12 billion Libraries of Congress of information. So, I'm not a stock guy, but Data center stocks look pretty good to me. Just saying, right? So the 3 V's or the 5 V's of data are as big as they've ever been, right? Velocity, variety, there's just so much data. This is a chart from Deloitte that shows that we are analyzing only a little bit of that structured data. But the truth is, it's not the scale. We're actually analyzing way less than this that's depicted, and there's lots and lots of dark data. And at the same time, another dimension is growing, and that is what we can do with large language models. And those things are incredible. The largest language models are now over 1 trillion parameters involved, right? So, quick question for you. What plane is this? F-22, I think he was first. At the back of the room is my buddy David Steinbrook. See David right there? He's our Vanna White for the day. He's got a shirt for you for getting that answer right. So congratulations. Yes, that's the F-22. Anybody else? What plane do you think this is? All right, we got to have a little bit of honesty here. Who said P-51 first? And you can't win again. All right, the gentleman with the beard right there, David. That's another shirt. It's happening. All right, so here's the question for you. Did we get from that P-51 Mustang to this fighter in one fell swoop? Absolutely not. Lots of technology had to come together. The first generation of the jet age was the P-80, right after the end of World War II. 10 years later, we're in the Korean conflict, and we have the F-86. We went supersonic to fight the MiGs. Next thing you know, Generation 3 comes along, where we get away from guns and we get to missiles. This is the F-4 Phantom. Dominated during Vietnam, stayed around for a lot of years, was a great platform. The 4th generation, this is the F-16, offered a lot better maneuverability, all kinds of digital systems. We kind of had a half generation crop up where we took a lot of these platforms like the F-15 Eagle and made it the Strike Eagle. Much better avionics, absolute domination of the skies, right? At the same time, the Skunk Works at Lockheed was working on this. What's the number of this one? Everybody know? 117, there's another shirt right there. Thanks for participating. David. Gentleman just won a shirt right there. All right, yay. At the same time, all these components inside each one of these airplanes has been improving. So lots and lots of things were coming together to get to this 5th generation fighter. The reason I went through this example is because I think there's a parallel universe right now in data as well. The first generation of data was hard drives and relational databases in the 70s and the 80s. In the 90s, it became data warehousing. I was actually there when Walmart installed the first largest data warehouse in the world at 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte, by the way, was really big. A lot of electricity flowing. SAP invented BW, roughly 1998. The next generation featured Hasso, thinking about what's the future going to look like, and it's all about becoming more real-time. We purchased BobJ in 2008. We invented HANA in 2010. It was all on the path to get to where we are today, right? Then the 4th generation featured everything moving to the cloud, being able to advance things much more quickly with the cloud. At the same time, we started collecting all this dark data with Hadoop. And then we finally got to DataSphere, which you guys probably heard about last year. But DataSphere and from Databricks, the Lakehouse architecture was all about how do we get structured data with unstructured data with semi-structured data to all work well together. How do we make that world work, right? So now we're at the 5th generation. This is what Business Data Cloud is. We're partnering with a lot of partners to pull this off, but we are combining everything, networking it together, making sure that we can get you great answers in a hurry without having data scientists work for months and months and months to get just one answer. It's really a big deal. This is the cold fusion breakthrough, in my opinion, for enterprise systems. These lines are absolutely blurring. If you want a great career, don't just specialize in one little thing. The world's all going to work well together. Agents are going to be at the middle of that. And so, Business Technology Platform, which I've talked about here before, is all about helping this world come together. It simplifies your landscape. You can adapt. You can become more data-driven. You can become prepared for the future that we just all identified because we're that smart. Yeah. Anyway, you can innovate fast, you can optimize your business processes, you can create this flexible data fabric, and ultimately you can infuse AI in a responsible way. It's all about being able to adapt quickly, become ready for the future. Ultimately, our vision is, and BTP helps, I don't know how many people were here last time I talked about the customer stories and the dimensions of BTP? There's 3 different dimensions. There's one person. Everybody else is new. No, we help in 3 ways. We help you optimize the process down at the application level. We help you create this great data fabric in the middle level, and then we're empowering AI at the top level. This is going to be a very high-level overview like you're flying over the Grand Canyon from 30,000 feet. But then right afterwards, in breakout room number 4, Scott is going to be talking about BDC at a deeper level. And if you want a better view of the Grand Canyon, the closer you get, the cooler it is. And then Doug Culpepper, I don't know if Doug's here yet, but Doug is going to take it down another notch and talk about if you're a BW customer, how does Business Data Cloud help you with your BW modernization? If you're wondering what the 6th generation looks like, it's this. Awfully familiar, whether you're talking about enterprise systems or fighters, right? Fully integrated, real-time systems, widespread AI. The only difference between this fighter and your enterprise system is drones versus agents at the bottom. So, what's different about BDC? Well, there's about 9 major differences. I'm only going to be able to cover about 5 of those in a really quick fashion right now. And ultimately, we're trying to deliver insights through Insight apps in a much more comprehensive way than we ever have. And we're trying to make sure all that data that feeds these apps, all that plumbing, is perfected. And we're doing this across all the lines of business. So whether we're talking about spend analytics or people analytics or customer analytics, each one of these areas of SAP are working to create Insight apps to deliver great BI and machine learning and AI as part of the analytics process. This year, we're probably going to have about hundreds of these. Very soon, we're going to have thousands. You're going to be able to go to an analytics store and be able to pick the Insight apps that you need for your business to run well. Here's an example of one. This is working capital, probably a very timely app given what's going on with the tariffs. But ultimately, unlike the content that we've delivered in the past, this actually delivers all the plumbing, all you need. You can configure it. Scott will talk about how the process saves a shocking amount of time and how it delivers much greater quality. The whole idea here is that you're going to have out-of-the-box analytics that's fantastic. That's what Insight apps are all about. Having a unified platform is something that we've all been working on for a great number of years. It's not been easy, right? We basically decided to take a much more aggressive approach on this because getting the data out of ERP is pretty hard. I think we all know that. ERP grew up over decades, and we wanted to leave no customers behind. So if you think about it, a very simple system still has 20,000, 30,000 different relational tables. Lots of companies have merged, so now you inherit interesting complexity from one company and try to marry it to another company, so that's hard as well, right? And these decentralized decisions dominate the landscape. Your warehouse people decide, oh, we're going to buy this app. So, of course, the data is probably not very compatible with the rest of your enterprise, right? And so we're partnering with Databricks in a very comprehensive way to give you the best of structured data that comes out of transactional systems like SAP with all the unstructured and ML goodness that comes with Databricks. It's natively integrated with BDC. You can actually purchase Databricks through SAP Databricks. So it's a very, very close partnership. But ultimately, we're trying, if you remember my chart with the jet on it, Databricks exists to be able to tie data together from different sources. But DataSphere does the exact same thing. So we're taking the best of those 2 worlds to make sure that it all works well together. We're trying to create great data products. That's the whole idea. Data that's well described, it's got great metadata, that's completely reliable. And so the whole idea here is that SAP, we're going to produce all the data products for these different areas, whether it's S4 or SuccessFactors or Ariba. It's going to be reusable for whatever application you want on the far side of this chart. That's the whole goal here. We want to make sure it's consistent. But we're also going to give you the ability to innovate, right? So at the top are going to be the things that we manage for you, making sure that you got great data from the source system all the way through to your analytics. But at the same time, you can include custom data products as part of your data model, so the flexibility is there. McKinsey puts it this way. Once you take this kind of approach to your data, they believe the next project is 90% faster and TCO is at least 30% less, and that doesn't even count a lot of the benefits around governance. Ultimately, we're trying to get us out of the business of doing all the data engineering for 80% of our time and only analyzing for 20% of the time. We're trying to flip that where we're doing 20% data engineering and 80% analysis. If you think about this working capital dashboard that I put up there as an example, Here's how much data needed to be combined from source systems to get to that dashboard. All this stuff becomes automatic to you, and then the models that are created in DataSphere are right there. So there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into just one of these Insight apps, let alone the fact that we're going to deliver lots of them. Becoming more real-time is a big deal. Having less copies to manage all over your enterprise is a big deal. It helps with security, it helps in a lot of different ways. I say as much as possible on this chart because right now we're copying data to the object store at about 1 hour kind of cadence, but we imagine we've got all the components in place that this evolution keeps just getting better and better and better, and as changes happen, it's going to continue to improve. You know, if you think about it, this was an original goal that we did with Analytics Cloud. We wanted Analytics Cloud to play the data where it lies, so we had technology for that, but now with Databricks, we have a lot more technology, the best of breed both sides, right? Ultimately, this object store is about an hour old right now, right, Scott? Am I kind of on track there? Yep, Scott agrees. By the way, he could definitely tell me when I'm wrong. But yeah, all the goodness of Databricks comes with this solution. So how many people use Databricks in their enterprise right now? Yeah, less than 50, but a considerable amount, right? The whole idea is let's get the data moving faster in a very organized and great way. So with Databricks, and I'm not going to sit here and talk to you a lot about Databricks, but the whole goal here is that you can access our data products and put it in your machine learning and AI environment so you can create custom products. You can then use their pro code tools to do the work within Databricks and yet return the answers back to DataSphere and the SAP space so that you can then augment all the things that we're doing. Like I mentioned, Doug's going to be also at I think 11:15 talking about this. So how many people are a BW customer? BW customers? Yeah. Don't miss that session. Going to be a great session, but we've absolutely got a great line of how you go from BW, take all that historical goodness and make it part of this modern world. Ultimately, we're trying to make sure that you get the value out of your BW investment over the years. And so, yes, I know that this has been kind of a really fast flyby, and I definitely didn't want to spill your coffee in the process, okay? But ultimately, please go to Scott's session. It's next after Edgar. And then Doug, because BDC truly is a big deal here. Quick story for you really quick. Viatris is a very large company. They're the combination of Upjohn and Mylan. Mergers are difficult. They learned it firsthand, right? They basically had 40 manufacturing plants, a lot of different brands of drugs. Lipitor is one I'm probably too familiar with, but that's a different story for another day. It was really difficult to put the data together to do very innovative projects. They used DataSphere to get this done, and DataSphere is now part of what we do with BDC. So we basically have built around DataSphere and added all this additional stuff. Ultimately, they got a lot more flexible, and as Nanda puts it, by the way, he presented at our BTP Summits, which happened in September, but he talked about this and said, look, we are just way more flexible, more innovative, and we're now able to use low-code and no-code tools to get data done in a very comprehensive way. My one other story is Heineken. We're all pretty much familiar with the brand, right? They wanted to streamline just data access to all their knowledge workers. They tried to do it with Microsoft Copilot by itself. In POC, this didn't go all that well because the data just wasn't meshing together. They added DataSphere to the mix, changed the entire world. They used Generative AI Hub from SAP to do all that plumbing, and ultimately Ask Copy came out, and it's absolutely saving them lots of time on their way to AI. The point I want to make about AI is if you have bad data, you're going to have bad AI, full stop. On the other hand, if you have great data, you've got a chance of having great AI. Our goal is to have the semantically rich data fuel your AI, so when you ask a question, you get a great answer. So it sounds so simple, but it's not that simple when all these systems are interconnecting. Ultimately, our goal is how do you take all this AI and make it part of your business process? Not a separate thing on a separate machine that you're asking a separate question on and then trying to affect your business process. Our path to AI comes to these 5 steps. Heather has promised me I'll get to come back and talk about AI pretty soon, right, Heather? Yes. She said yes. It's on record now. So this is quick. We're catapulting off the deck. We're on our way with great AI to get to data. So we went through the big 3 of BDC. Insight products, a unified platform, all about the data products Let's make it in real time. Let's enhance AI. BW modernization, Doug's here for that. We want to deliver a great AI copilot that also partners with embedded AI, which also partners with AI agents. If you go to Sapphire, by the way, only 4 weeks away, I got a feeling it's going to be the agent Sapphire, right? But the thing that matters most is adaptability. If you can adapt, you can absolutely deliver great results for your company. That's why BTP exists. The entire BTP platform is here to help you adapt, to go fast, to deliver great value. So, final thoughts. We're reaching this moment where it all comes together. Very, very cool moment to be around. BDC paves the road for great data, which then gets you to the great AI. BTP, the entire platform, helps you in these 3 different dimensions. Companies that have this flawless integration are absolutely going to be the winners in this AI age. My suggestions for you today: Scott Sleeper, 10:15, track 4. Doug Culpepper, same room, an hour later, talking about BW. Don't miss Sapphire. Orlando's only 4 weeks away. Virtual's free, by the way, even if you can't get your boss to buy the ticket for you. The keynotes are all going to be online live. So definitely register today. That'd be great. I've actually got my own little websites there, and if you want to download this deck, scan that, and the deck will be an autoresponder that comes right to you. Thank you.